Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew and today we're talking about PlayStation 5. I haven't made a PlayStation 5 video in a little while, and most of the stuff that I have made has just been kind of poking fun at it. This video today is going to be a serious PlayStation 5 video, so if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I really got to talk about how I'm feeling about PlayStation 5. There are some things that I absolutely love about my PlayStation 5. But then there are some things that have truly got me worried about the PlayStation 5 this generation. So we're going to get into this. It's going to be a little bit of a long video. I'm going to just kind of, talk about, how I feel, how my experience has been with the PlayStation 5 over the last year, what I would like to see happen rather quickly in the PlayStation 5, and some other things. So we are going to start off um, with with options for PlayStation 5 that I think should be made available, and I think they should do something about this very soon. We've heard that the Xbox Series S is in fact outselling everything on Black Friday, and it has a much wider reach in certain markets. So, first thing I want to start off with is I think PlayStation 5 should have a base console that can compete with Series S. I do. I think they should make a PlayStation 5 Mini that has less powerful specs that will compete with the Xbox Series S. I really do think that they should, either bring down the specs to like 4 teraflops for PS5, um, you know, or maybe even more, like 5 teraflops, whatever they think they got to do. Um, Whatever they can do to get the cost of the PlayStation 5 into a competitive place for Xbox Series S, Sony needs to develop that. Yes, they can keep running with their system that they got right now. I mean, you can get a digital version for $400. Like that's a pretty good proposition either way you look at it. But if they had a console in the same spec range that could truly compete with the Xbox Series S, I think for $300, a $300 price point would definitely do PlayStation a lot of favors and give them, something to kind of fall back on, to to get that console out there. Because let's face it, man, if you're an adult and you have kids, spending $400 $500 on a console for them, um, that might be kind of a tall order, especially with the price of with the PlayStation 5 games. That leads me directly into the next topic that I want to talk about: price of games. There's no doubt that Xbox with Game Pass is going to dominate the value sector of gaming this generation. No doubt about it. Seeing amazing titles like Forza Horizon 5 and Halo Infinite coming to Xbox Game Pass day one, that is really going to move the needle on a lot of people in their purchasing decision for which console to go with. PlayStation 5 needs to abandon the $70 price tag. Just looking over the past year at the titles that they've put out, the ones that are cheaper like Miles Morales seems to be selling a lot. And there's a reason for that. People are more willing to spend $50, $60 on a game than they are to spend $70. When you look at that price with tax, $75 right here where I'm at, after tax for those games. PlayStation needs to abandon the $70. It doesn't look good. It is really affecting the sales of those games like bad. If you look at just Ratchet and Clank, with 1.1 million, like this is not okay. First of all, this is not like I'm not taking a jab at Sony today. This video is not to take a jab at the PlayStation 5. This is more or less to kind of to help people understand why Xbox is gaining so much traction this generation. I love PlayStation. I've always been a PlayStation guy since PlayStation 1, but even me, I'm more excited about Xbox and the future of Xbox than I am PlayStation right now. And that's true. And PlayStation has a lot to do with that. First of all, the PlayStation 5 launches with less power. It is holding its own right now with these cross-gen titles. Most developers are more PlayStation friendly. That's definitely true. They do spend more time optimizing for PlayStation, so the PlayStation games are doing. I wouldn't say punching above their weight because we're not even seeing the full power of Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5 being truly utilized yet. So right now in this crossover period, it is definitely interesting, and it definitely gives the fanboys a whole lot to talk about, and whatever. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, smarter people that are sitting back watching the thing from above, are like, guys, like we really see what's going on. Like we understand. Like this is not going to be the case much longer. But let's talk about this, Kate, because this price for these games, the let's just put it this way: the value proposition for a $70 game on PlayStation 5 is just not there. It's not there. They can say all day long that yeah, these games are great and they're the best and whatever else, but let's face it, man, they have yet to deliver a solid experience that definitely deserves that $70 price tag. That's every one of them. Not one of these PlayStation 5 games or Call of Duty or Battlefield or any of them. Not one game that they've launched deserves a $70 price tag, especially when the competition is putting these games day one onto Game Pass. That not one PlayStation 5 game is worth $70. Not one PlayStation 5 game going forward is going to be worth $70. It's just not. Well, not any cross-gen game. PlayStation is driving a wedge between them and their base by insisting on charging you $10 more for these games. Now I know that $10 doesn't seem like a lot of money, but it is. It does, and it adds up, especially when the value of and gaming is just not there. Games are made to be played for a while. When you spend $70 on an experience that only lasts you 10 hours, that really does start to it really starts to make people even more cagey about wanting to spend that money on these games going forward. Um, if you look at something like Horizon Forbidden West, an open world game, usually with PlayStation open world games, you get about 30, 40 hours. I mean, I do. I get about 30, 40 hours out of those. For me, that I'm okay with paying $70 for 40 hours worth of gameplay. Like I'm perfectly okay with that. I pay $100 for like Assassin's Creed games when they come out. So I mean that's not the. I want to be fully immersed in a game that I pay $70 for. I want to be able to take my time and really enjoy that game, and to receive an experience that is going to wow me every step of the way. Um, Honestly, just looking at something like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, that game on Xbox Series S now runs at 60 frames a second at almost 4K with Dolby Vision. Let that sink in for a minute. Like this game looks freaking beautiful now. It's like getting a free remastered version of an already impressively scope a game that has an impressive scope, and just the level of design that went into Assassin's Creed Odyssey is pretty freaking high, and it looks really good today on Xbox Series X. On PlayStation 5, that game is 60 frames a second at 1440p resolution with HDR10. I'm just saying, like these are the things that are putting Xbox in a far greater, like it's more like, oh my gosh, I want that, because of the game preservation. I mean, I watched a video on Digital Foundry today about John Linneman talking about the FPS boost of the titles that they just recently launched. The backward compat program. With like Sonic and all these other games that have been truly upgraded, and that's amazing to think that this is system level hardware that is powering this, and that's how we're getting into the third part of this video. Game preservation, backwards compatibility, system features. So, Xbox, as you know, has an amazing lineup of features that are already available on the Xbox Series X and S. PlayStation 5 still does not have VRR support. PlayStation 5 still does not have Dolby Vision support. PlayStation 5 still relies on, like, I mean, it has gotten a lot better since launch. The UI has definitely come along. It is much more enjoyable now to experience things on the PlayStation 5. Um, the biggest advantage that the PlayStation 5 does have is that 6-channel SSD. That is a pretty decent size advantage, as well as the fact that if you're a content creator, you can record videos with your sound, and then you can upload those straight to YouTube. You've got the Share Factory in there that you can customize and create different things. PlayStation is very forward thinking when it comes to content creators, and I do very much appreciate that. Um, it's pretty freaking. It's a pretty good feature that has. Like, that is my most favorite feature of the PlayStation 5. Like, the SSD in that is pretty great. Like, it is pretty great. There's no denying that they did put all that extra research into that, but at the same time, it also cut out other features that could have been potentially even better in terms of, delivering that wow factor on games. Like, I have seen some pretty amazing stuff on PlayStation 5. I have, and I do appreciate it. As time goes on, things are definitely going to get better. We are going to see some amazing games from Sony first party studios and third party developers as well. Like, this generation, we haven't seen nothing yet, and I do believe that. When it comes to features that are not available on the PlayStation 5, like, Xbox is killing it. They are definitely killing it in features. But how many of us are buying a PlayStation 5 to use it as a content creator? I mean, it's good for me. I'm a content creator. I do like that and I do appreciate that. But let's face it, man, you're leaving a lot of power and everything on the table that they could have invested in, a better GPU, better CPU, you know, and brought, that wow factor to more people. I do feel like PlayStation is going to get there. I feel like they will at least deliver VRR support. I feel like that will be something that they deliver. Dolby Vision, I don't know if that's going to be the case. It would make sense for them to deliver that. I mean, even their TVs support Dolby Vision, so I don't understand why they would not bring that to the PlayStation 5. It is definitely a much needed feature, and I don't care what anybody says, Dolby Vision is definitely a game changer. Definitely a game changer. When I booted up Cyberpunk 2077 last night and I was playing through that, like, it looks amazing now. It looks freaking phenomenal. Playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey in Dolby Vision, yeah, it is definitely amazing. When you look up into the sky now, you're not seeing all the banding, all the little white rings in a circle, that look like ripples out from the sun. Like, no, dude, the colors are all there and it looks great. It's so immersive that it just really, it really helps you appreciate the colors and the textures and the things that go into to actually making that picture come alive on your TV. Dolby Vision is amazing. It is amazing. OLED makes it even more amazing. So, all right. So now let's get into where I think PlayStation really needs to make some changes. Well, not that they need to make some changes too much. I mean, there's people out there that are diehard fans that are going to keep buying their PlayStation. PlayStation name recognition is extremely high. Xbox has got a lot of ground to cover if they want to really compete in that space. But the PlayStation 5 not having a substantial, program that can compete with Game Pass going forward is really going to hurt it. Now, I hear the PlayStation execs all the time talking about, yeah, we just couldn't compete with Game Pass. It's just not sustainable. It is sustainable. when you look at a game like Forza Horizon 5 with 11 million players on it right now today, yeah, that is sustainable. That's very sustainable. If you've got 11 million people that pay $15 a month to be able to play Forza Horizon 5 and other games, yeah, that's pretty sustainable, I would say. I think if you do the math on 11 million at 15, that's definitely more money than they made selling all of the Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart games with only 1.1 million people playing that game. Imagine if 10 million people or 11 million people had paid $15 a month to play that game. They would have more than made almost double what they made just by selling that game at $70. It's definitely sustainable, and especially when you've got no other way to do anything with that game. You just play it because it's digital. You can't go trade it into GameStop. So now more people are going to play Ratchet and Clank by buying it used than they would have buying it for $70. You cannot tell me that something as amazing as Game Pass is not sustainable, especially when those games are being played. If you play these games and you pay your $15 a month, you're going to that program is inevitably going to be successful. The more people that sign up for it, the better it gets. PlayStation can compete, and they should compete going forward. Now, do I think that, I mean, with PlayStation games, that is kind of a double-edged sword because a lot of those games do not have that. They do not have that will for people to continuously play and play and play, like something like Forza Horizon 5 that's going to keep players in there with tons of content. That's the crux of the problem right here. PlayStation 5 game or PlayStation games, as long as I can remember, have always been that one and done experience. I'll play through them and then I'm like fine with it. Every once in a while I'll go back, just because I want to see the visuals. I mean, like I jumped on Uncharted 4 the other day and I was playing through this game, and I started from the beginning and I'm just playing through it and I'm like, wow, man, this game really holds up today and it is really such a good experience. Imagine if PlayStation 5, imagine just how good this game is going to hold up when they do the director's cut that we know they're going to make us pay for. Like, I already own the game. I own the game on disc as well as have a digital version of it because I don't put discs in my console no more. Just imagine if these upgrades, because this is another part of the argument, Kay, they are charging us nickel and diming us, it feels like, for every single upgrade they deliver. $10, $20, whatever. They're going to charge us for the Uncharted upgrade. They are. They are going to make us pay for this upgrade. When they're turning around and they're also putting this game on PC at the same time, they're going to make us pay for an upgrade for a game we've already spent, bought full price, and then sell it on the PC as well. Man, are they going to charge us $10 per game? Are they going to make us buy a new double pack of these games that are upgraded? Like, they haven't even talked to us about pricing yet. And that's the thing. Like, I love my PlayStation first party games and I will pay their price. Like, that's not the question. But the fact that, I mean, Xbox just dropped 76 more games that are both upgraded and freaking backward compatible right onto right. Come on, PlayStation, get with the program, man. We cannot continue to ignore. We can't continue to ignore what PlayStation is doing, and especially if we're fans, we need them to be more competitive because 11. I said this in another video. Let's look at this, please, and look at this with an open mind. Like, there's no fanboyism going on here whatsoever. 11 million people are playing Forza Horizon 5 right now. 11 million people. And you know what they're telling other people? Whoa, this game looks amazing. This game is great. Dude, you can play this game on Game Pass. You don't even have to buy it. You can just download it and play it. And people are like, whoa, really? Yeah, dude, heck yeah. 11 million people are talking like that. They're not out there, oh man, yeah, the game's kind of stupid. I mean, yeah, it's free on Game Pass, so it doesn't even matter. Like, nobody's saying negative things unless they're a PlayStation fanboy that's trying to convince you that no, man, $70 is the way to go. $70 is great. Like, who cares? Our games are the best. Xbox games are trash. There is nothing in Forza Horizon 5 that does not compare to a PlayStation 5 visually. Like, it's there. Like, the visuals are there. I'm telling you, it looks beautiful. It looks amazing. And it's a way bigger open world than any open world PlayStation studios have created with high amounts of detail. Like, it looks fabulous. So if you're trying to tell me something as high quality as Forza Horizon 5 cannot compete with PlayStation games visually, and that it's trash because it's Forza, like, that doesn't make any freaking sense at all. Like, that's the dumbest argument I've ever heard. How can you say that something, like, it doesn't even matter? The PlayStation fanboys that are out there saying negative things about Game Pass and Xbox Studios, that's all they got, man. That's all they've got right now. That's all they can talk about. Because let's face it, PlayStation 5 has not delivered that wow experience that Forza Horizon 5 has. I mean, Demon Souls is probably the closest thing. And let's face it, that's a pretty niche title, man. A lot of people are not out to playing games that are that freaking that are that challenging. They're just not. And I mean, if you look at sales on that game, what was it? 1.5 million? 1.5 million people. That's 1.5 million people telling other people, "Well, yeah, man, you just got to get good. You got to get good." Come on, man. Seriously. And then, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you got 11 million people saying, "Yeah, dude, Forza Horizon 5 is amazing." And now you got Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite coming out in 11 days. You got Halo Infinite, man. That game is going to be a major boon for Xbox this holiday season going into the end of the year. Our next best thing on PlayStation is going to be in February. In February. That is a whole holiday of Xbox having two banger games at the end of the year to spread word of mouth to other gamers that are still trying to find a PlayStation, that are now going to be like, "Oh man, dude, they're both the same price, 500 bucks, 500 bucks. Xbox got bangers right now, PlayStation will have bangers." I don't know, man. I guess if I find, I guess whatever's whatever. If I find an Xbox, I'll buy an Xbox. If I find a PlayStation, I'll get a PlayStation. That's where the conversation is going to start leading, whether we like it or not. Like, Xbox is gaining ground in hearts and minds every day. Every time something like Forza Horizon 5 drops or Halo Infinite, and people start to see the excitement of the Xbox foundation, of the Xbox base, that's that's pretty moving, man. Word of mouth is far better than any kind of PR or advertising or anything that these developers or anything are going to put out there. Like, this is where real people interact with real people, and decisions are made. Like that, it's that simple. A lot of people play PlayStation because their friends play PlayStation. A lot of people play Xbox because their friends play Xbox. If there's good things out there right now for the Xbox, PlayStation is not getting that good word of mouth. Nobody's talking about PlayStation right now. They're talking about Xbox and the amazing things that Xbox is bringing to the thing. And we haven't even really got into XCloud. XCloud runs flawlessly on base consoles from last generation. I've played it. I've put out video of it. I showed you just how seamless that experience feels with 30 minutes of uncut footage jumping into to different games. And I'll tell you what, man, that feels almost like I'm playing games on my Series X. Like, it's fast, it's fluid, games are loading quickly like they do on my Series X. It is delivering a next gen experience on a base last gen Xbox console. Let that sink in for a minute. Like, seriously, let that sink in. I am You can jump in and play a next gen version of these games on a base last gen console at locked 1080p at 60 frames a second. That right there is going to fill next gen to somebody that's got a base console. I just These are the things that PlayStation really needs to address going forward. They need to abandon the whole corporate look that they have going on right now. They need to abandon the whole trying to be the next Apple. We don't need an Apple in video games, guys. We just don't need it. Like nobody needs that. Nobody wants a Prada video game system, dude. Nobody wants a Gucci Xbox. Nobody wants that. I mean, they want their quality games, but they don't need to pay those ridiculous prices that, let's face it, man. A Prada bag is made out of the same stuff that any other bag is going to be made out of, but you're paying for a name. Like, nobody wants to pay for a freaking name, PlayStation. We don't want to. We want games that are going to entertain us and continuously, push the hobby forward. We don't need your like little corporate whatever. We don't need it, man. Like, yeah, your games are great, but I can get a freaking pretty awesome freaking gaming experience on an Xbox Series X that's going to deliver that fun and keep me engaged far longer than any Sony for pretty beautiful Sony first party game. So, if PlayStation, if you guys are listening to this, man, I love you guys. I want to see this competition be really strong this generation. I do. Please drop the freaking whole gouging nickel and diamond people. Do something to compete with Game Pass. Do something to compete with value. Bring out a less powerful PlayStation 5 for the young people. Yeah, just do it. Take these things seriously and really compete. Xbox is doing a good job, and I'm not worried about Xbox or PlayStation going forward, but I would like to see this competition really heat up, and really get strong. Because right now, all I got is nice things to say about Xbox, and worry about PlayStation. Like, what's PlayStation doing? What are they going to do? Like, I want to see PlayStation really compete, and right now, I just don't feel like the hype is really warranted for the PlayStation 5. Like, yeah, it's great and it's going to be great, but right now everything they've brought out so far has just been like, really, man, is this the best we can do, PlayStation? So, I know this video is long, and I just want to say thank you if you made it to this point, man. I really do appreciate your support, and these are just things that, kind of run through my mind a lot. I don't know if any other gamers are like thinking about this stuff, but it's true, and this is from the heart. So I didn't want to. I don't want to bash PlayStation, and this video is not to bash PlayStation. This is just, hey man, this is where I think we could improve, stuff like that. So if you like this content and you found this useful, definitely hit that like and subscribe. If you want to join the membership or support this channel on Patreon, I'll definitely have a link for that in the video. And yeah, man, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for stopping by.